Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening, coming to you from the National News Studio. Welcome to the news. My name is Clifford Richards.
A very good evening. I'm Delanjali Ananda, and these are the headlines. A ship carrying 3,700 metric tons of gas arrives in the island. Further 7,600 metric tons expected shortly. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says Postal Department's revenue target of 15,000 million rupees for this year could be easily achieved. The government focuses on amending outdated laws and regulations. Gunman arrested in connection with the Akuregada double murder. Signs of rainy weather conditions gradually receding. Kerala 2026 Rupavahini Avrudu Kumari preliminary round competition concluded successfully. 12 selected for the grand finale. President Trump raises the new 10% global tariff by an additional 5%.
And now moving on to the stories in detail. Well, the ship Goodwill carrying 3,700 metric tons of gas has arrived in the country today.
The Electro Gas Company says with the unloading of this stock, the process of issuing a total quantity of 300,000 metric tons gas cylinders has begun. The government has taken measures to increase daily electro gas supply. The company points out that problems pertaining to gas would be normalized by tomorrow. Two more ships loaded with 3,900 and 3,700 metric tons of gas are also expected to reach the island by the 25th and 28th of this month. The Ministry of Trade informs that preparations are being made to issue new electro gas cylinders as usual from the 12th of this month. Distribution of gas has returned to normal in many areas in the country today.
Well, according to the Department of Meteorology, the present rainy weather condition will gradually decrease since the low pressure area in the southwestern Bay of Bengal sea area is moving away from the island. And meanwhile, the Department of Irrigation informs that due to the heavy rains, there is a possibility of a minor flood situation. That's during the next 24 hours in low-lying areas around the Mahaveli River. Well, this notice has been issued to the people of the low-lying areas of Kinnia, Muttur, Seruvilla, Valikanda, Lankapura, Thamankadu and the Dimulagal Divisional Secretariat divisions around the Mahaveli River Basin. There is also a risk of minor flood situation in the Gallale area of the Batikulo-Polonnaru Road. The approach road of the ancient Somavati Rajamahavihara has been temporarily closed, and the Department of Irrigation informs the people to be alert regarding this situation. The Polonnaru District Disaster Management Unit informs the public on both sides of the Mahaveli River to be cautious due to the heavy rain. Several places in the Colombo-Batiklo main road were inundated. Our correspondent reports that there is no disruption to vehicular traffic. Well, Karunaratne Reservoir is in spate due to heavy rains. Vehicular traffic has been hampered due to the flowing of the water of the reservoir across the road at Dambulla, Vavala. The volume of 500 cubic feet of water per second is being released from the Kandalam Reservoir, Mirisgodia area via Kuda Thammanala. The water level of the Ulhitia Ratkinda Mahaveli Reservoir has sharply increased with the heavy rains being received in Badula district. The resident technical officers of the reservoir say that the sluice gates of the reservoir have been opened with several instances. And the restoration of the Peradini Black Bridge on the Colombo-Kandy railway line, which is severely damaged due to Cyclone Detwa, has been hampered due to heavy weather conditions. Gannoru, Gohagoda, Waratan area, the road from Gannoru to Hallulua remained closed yesterday due to falling of boulders onto the road with heavy rain weather, and according to our correspondent, the RDA took steps this morning to open the road for vehicular traffic. The National Building Research Organization has issued red notices to several areas of the island. Senior scientist Vasanta Senadira of the National Building Research Organization says a significant volume of rainfall has been recorded across several areas in the past few days. He noted that in response to these conditions, the NBRO has issued formal landslide early warnings. Expert further reported that certain locations had recorded rainfall levels exceeding 200 millimeters in the previous day as well.
Now, a person suspected to be a shooter of the Agoregoda double murder has been taken into custody by a team of officials of the Homagama Division Crime Investigation Unit. According to police, he has been handed over to the Western Province South Crime Division for further investigations. The suspect is a 46-year-old resident of Badegama area. It has been revealed during the investigations that the suspect of a former soldier had left the army legally during the period of common amnesty in 2009. A mobile phone has also been taken into custody along with the suspect by police. The suspect was produced before the Kaduwela Magistrates Court today. 3 suspects were taken into police custody. Meanwhile, the motor car suspected to be used by concerned suspect during the shooting occurred yesterday evening at Devinur area has been recovered from the Pahuranvilla sub-road of Akurasa, abandoned by the police. It added that 3 cartridges used in pistol firearms have also been recovered.
The Civil Intellectual Front accuses those who are attempting to create a mafia situation pertaining to the issue of coal at present, and they point out that the frauds relating to coal had taken place during the previous Rajapaksa regime. Sanjay Mahavat of the Civil Intellectual Front said that the Lanka Coal Company was established in 2007. Prior to its inception, the CEB held the responsibility of importing coal to Sri Lanka. He noted that the company was founded during the administration of the Rajapaksa family and their loyalists. He pointed out that significant detail regarding the leadership of the institution observed that the birth years of 5 of its chairmen align with the year 1984, which is also the birth year of young Rajapaksa. He asserts that the company was essentially created to provide positions and benefits to the specific inner circle and loyalists of the Rajapaksa family.
පස් දෙනෙක්ගේ උපන්දිනය බැලුවතින් 1984 වෙනවා. එතකොට 1984 කියන්නේ කවුද? රාජකුමාරයෙක්ගේ උපන්දින වර්ෂය බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙනවා. එහෙමනම් අපිට පැහැදිලි මේ රාජකුමාරයාගේ පිරිවර තමන්ගේ සට්ටැම්බියන් තමන්ගේ ඒ කණ්ඩායමට වරදාන වරප්‍රසාද ලබා දීම උදෙසා තමයි ලංකා ගල් අඟුරු සමාගම පිහිටවලා තියෙන්නේ. රාජපක්ෂවරුන්ගේ
Harshan Rukshan of the Restaurant Owners Association added that the various groups associated with the Rajapakshas have now lost the commissions and illicit gains they once enjoyed. He referred to the individuals involved in the masterminds behind the coal mafia, noting that some were previously implicated in the Pandora Papers as well.
Ruka pageant of the national television attracts special attention of most of the people during the Sinhala and Tamil New Year season.
Now, the most important question is, who will be the winner for 2026? Well, the competition of the preliminary round was held at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises since morning today.
The selection of Aurida Kumariya for Ruka will be conducted under a veteran panel of judges this year as well. Veteran dance instructor Chandra Vikramasinghe and model and choreographer Roseanne Dias, actress Udari Pereira and sales manager of Nature's Beauty Creations Rohan Vikramarachi are included in the panel of judges. 12 contestants out of those who attended in the preliminary round will be selected for the grand finale. The Ruka 2026 grand finale will be held at the SLRC premises on the 15th of April, parallel to the Sri Lakapiri Aurida Siri Rupavahini program. The winner of the grand finale will be crowned with worth 500,000 rupees of gems and will be sponsored by Serendip Gems International. Tharani newspaper will provide the official printed media sponsorship for Ruka 2026.
පිපිලා නුඹ වගේම හැඩ වැඩ වෙනදා ගම්මානය මල් යායක සුවඳින් පිරෙනා නාබරමී මැසි බඹරුන් ඒව වැටිලා නාබරමී මැසි බඹරුන් ඒව වැටිලා රුම් රුම් ගාගෙන අත්තට ගැව්වම සත්සරණකුණා සිත පිරෙනවා පිනැති මේ පින්බර රූමත්කම කවුද දුන්නේ නොලාස් වී
Best of luck to the contestants, and we move on with more local stories. The 169th birth anniversary of the founder of the World Scout Movement, Lord Baden-Powell, and the World Thinking Day celebrations were held today at the National Scout Headquarters in Colombo. Well, this event was presided over by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. Under the Scout digitalization project, laptop computers and first aid kits were symbolically presented to several districts. Chief Scout Commissioner Attorney-at-Law Manoj Nanayakar presented the collection of commemorative Scout stamps and a first aid card to the Prime Minister. A special ceremony marked the 40th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Nippon Educational and Cultural Centre was also held today under the patronage of the Prime Minister. This coincided with the 75th birthday of the General Secretary of the Centre and the Chief Sanganayak of the Western Province, the Most Venerable Meegahatanne Chandusirinayaka Thera. The objective of the ceremony was to appreciate the service rendered by the Sri Lanka Nippon Educational and Cultural Centre since 1986, acting as a bridge between Japan and Sri Lanka for the betterment of the children of the country.
Two persons travelling in a cab had succumbed to their injuries when the vehicle in which they were travelling collided with a Galukumari Express train heading to Maradana from Goa this morning. Another person in the vehicle was grievously injured. Two of the victims died upon admission to Karunaratne Teaching Hospital. It has also been reported that railway signals were not properly functioning at the ill-fated railway crossing and there was not a protective gate at this location. A cab fell from a bridge near the Monragala town last night. Our correspondent says nobody was injured in the incident. However, the accident had caused damages to the main pipeline carrying water to the Monragala town. A male youth was killed and a female youth was seriously injured in a road accident in Vevaldenia on the Colombo-Kandy main road yesterday. A motorcycle travelling in the Colombo direction hit a bus heading for Kandy. The deceased was a 20-year-old resident in Dambulla. The injured female was admitted to the intensive care unit of the Colombo National Hospital.
Minister of Health and Mass Media Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa expressed the hope that the income target of 15,000 million rupees could be easily achieved this year. That's by the Postal Department. He made this observation during the function of the opening of the new post offices at Galevela and Mahavela, constructed at a cost of nearly 30 million rupees of grants. The Madhawala Ulpata Police post office was handed over to the public by the minister, and a sum of more than 5 million rupees has been spent for the project. The construction of the Galevela new post office commenced from the 4th of September last year, and the construction has been completed in a short period of 5 months. The construction of the Mahavela post office also commenced on the 7th of the same year, and the construction has been completed in 5 months. The minister stated that the government has committed to transforming the 200-year-old Sri Lanka Postal Service into a modern and profitable institution. He explained that since 2016, previous administrations have failed to take adequate steps towards constructing new post offices. The minister announced that significant funding has been allocated for modernization, targeting improvements in both physical infrastructure and human resources. He emphasized the government's goal to elevate the service to a higher standard by integrating current technology to provide more efficient services to the public.
Minister Professor Chandana Bairatne says that the government has decided to amend old rules and regulations of the country. He made this observation during the inaugural session to introduce legal reforms for government officials. Minister Professor Chandana Bairatne stated that the government has reached a formal decision to review and reform various long-standing laws across multiple sectors in the country. He explained that this initiative involves identifying specific laws, acts and regulations that require amendment to better serve the current needs of the nation. The minister emphasized that a primary goal of these reforms is to simplify legal frameworks, thereby ensuring that the general public can access essential services with greater ease and efficiency. He noted that the government is focused on introducing a modernized legal landscape that is was more responsive to the requirements of the citizenry. Furthermore, Minister Professor Karunaratne acknowledged that the significant portion of the existing legal framework dates back to the British colonial era, while noting that certain positive elements of these laws remain relevant.
Another accolade for the national television. The national television has won the award being presented the most excellent children's television program at the Global Synergy 2026 awards ceremony held at the Water's Edge recently. That was yesterday. Well, the Global Synergy Tech private company organized the awards presentation with the objective of felicitating those who excelled in numerous fields in Sri Lanka. The award presented to National Television's Mutuhara program was received by Program Director Udanta Gunathilaka, Director Education Programs of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. Sanjay Indrakumara also attended the event.
A rich harvest has been obtained from orange cultivation of Bibila area this year. The planters say although the orange harvest has been increased, they are facing difficulties due to the non-availability of a fair price for their produce. Orange cultivation commenced in various parts of the island with the commencement of the Ceylon Agricultural Department by British nationals in 1912. Although no successful harvest was obtained during the initial period, orange cultivation expanded successfully in Badulla and Monoragala areas by 1940. It has been stated that orange cultivation has been carried out in more than 4,000 acres of land in Monoragala district. During this period, orange cultivation has been the main source of income of the people of Bibila area, according to reports. The orange cultivation was hampered by epidemics time and again, and research work conducted with the help of British and Israeli floral scientists. Somehow a successful harvest has been obtained from orange cultivation in Bibila area again by now.
And we are now moving on to several development news items in brief. A special project has been initiated to prevent sea erosion in the Calido beach area of the Kalutara North. It has been implemented under the direct supervision of the Department of the Beach Conservation. A sum of 180 million rupees will be spent on this project. A side wall of a T shape is to be constructed in order to protect the beach. Most of the restoration work between Ramukkana and Kadugannava section of the upcountry railway line has been completed. About 70 places of the railway line were damaged due to Cyclone Detwa, and most of it has been restored by now. And according to Sri Lanka Railways, another 4 places are to be restored soon. A stretch of 2.5 kilometers on the Galwaduava road of the Thalawa Divisional Secretariat Division in Anuradhapura has been carpeted and developed. The project commenced directly, and a sum of 70 million rupees has been allocated for this project.
Distinguished and renowned artist Dr. H.A. Karunaratne has passed away. He was widely acclaimed as an exceptional artist who transcended traditional forms of drawing and painting to embrace a multidisciplinary approach to art. Dr. Karunaratne was a recipient of the Order of the Rising Sun Gold and Silver Rays, the highest honor bestowed by the Japanese government. This prestigious award was presented to him in recognition of his unique contribution to strengthening the bilateral relations between Japan and Sri Lanka. Having studied painting and printing at the Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music under a Japanese scholarship, Dr. Karunaratne utilized his artistic practice to foster a deep and enduring friendship between the two nations. Following the establishment of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, a gift from the people of Japan, one of his notable artworks was installed and remains on display near Studio 3. Dr. H.A. Karunaratne also shared his expertise as a dedicated lecturer at the University of the Visual and Performing Arts. We'll be back with international news after this break. US President Donald Trump has announced he will impose a 15% global tariff on most imports, escalating his trade agenda following a major legal setback.
Well, this move comes as a direct response to a Supreme Court ruling that struck down his previous tax plan as an outstep of presidential authority. Well, the trade policy of President Trump faced a significant check this week after the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 at his previous global tariffs enacted under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act were unlawful. The court found the administration oversteps its powers in collecting an estimated $130 billion in taxes. In response, the president utilized Truth Social to announce a new 15% levy on all goods entering the United States, and the new tax rates relies on Section 122 of the 1974 Trade Act, and never before used provision that allows temporary tariffs for approximately 5 months without immediate congressional approval, while set to begin early as Tuesday. The move creates uncertainty for allies like the UK and Australia, who had previously negotiated lower 10% deals that may now be overridden. European officials have also called for a pause on pending trade deals with the United States as the 15% rate looms, citing the need to clarify the legal and economic implications of the new levy. Chairman of the European Parliament's International Trade Committee, Bernard Lange, specifically requested to halt the ratification of a bilateral deal originally scheduled for a vote this Tuesday. Well, the officials indicate that the sudden shift in American trade policy raises significant questions regarding the stability of existing negotiations and also the future global economic growth. In the meantime, Democrats in the U.S. Congress are demanding a formal plan to reimburse businesses while administration remains. These measures are essential to combat a trade deficit that recently hit a record $1.2 trillion US.
Russia says its forces had seized control of a settlement and struck Ukrainian transportation and energy infrastructure facilities yesterday. Meanwhile, Ukraine reported that its forces had launched attacks on a Russian military industrial factory over the past 24 hours. Russia said that over the past day, its forces had taken control of one settlement in the Donetsk region in eastern Ukraine. Russian troops have also struck Ukrainian military transportation and energy infrastructure facilities and destroyed one transport loading vehicle of the US-made multiple-launched rocket system HIMARS and multiple launches of Flamingo long-range cruise missiles. Russian air defense systems have intercepted one guided bomb, 7 HIMARS rockets, 5 Flamingo missiles and 172 fixed-wing drones, according to Russian authorities. Meanwhile, Ukrainian authorities said that during the past night, Ukraine's missile forces and artillery units launched multiple Flamingo cruise missile attacks on a military-industrial factory in Russia's Udmurt Republic. Ukrainian forces have struck a natural gas processing plant in Russia's Samar region and Russian military targets, including fuel depots in the Donetsk and Seferia regions, according to reports. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has signed decrees to sanction Russia's shadow fleet and entities and individuals serving Russia's military industry, the Ukrainian president's official website reported yesterday. The decrees were signed to enact decisions of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, said the report. One of the decisions aims to counter Russia's shadow fleet, involving 225 ship captains related to exporting Russian petroleum products. Those sanctioned include citizens of Russia, India and Philippines. Most of the vessels involved have already been placed under sanctions by the European Union and the United States, Britain, Switzerland, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Another package of sanctions was imposed on 46 Russian citizens, 2 Iranian citizens and 44 Russian companies servicing Russia's military-industrial complex, according to the report. President Zelensky has said that the Ukrainian side will do everything necessary so that the next round of negotiations between Ukraine, the United States and Russia can deliver results for Ukraine and peace. He has announced that his meetings with European partners are scheduled for next week. The delegations from Ukraine, the United States and Russia held the latest round of talks in Geneva, Switzerland on the February 17th and 18th with no breakthrough on key issues.
Well, Russian recovery teams retrieved the bodies of 7 Chinese tourists and a local driver from the bottom of Lake Baikal in Siberia. Well, the recovery follows a fatal incident recently where a minibus plunged through a fissure in the ice. The Russian Emergency Ministry confirmed the recovery of 8 victims from the floor of the Lake Baikal yesterday. A group consisting of 7 Chinese nationals and 1 Russian driver died after their vehicle fell through a 3-meter wide ice fissure near the Cape Cowboy. While Baikal is the world's deepest lake, reaching depths of over 1,600 meters. This specific accident occurred at a depth of 18 meters. Divers utilized underwater cameras to locate the remains within the submerged vehicle. 1 Chinese tourist managed to escape the sinking minibus and survive. According to the reports, the tourists, including a 14-year-old child, had been traveling independently. The Russian Investigative Committee has opened a criminal case into negligence and a performance of services that failed to meet safety requirements. This follows a separate fatal incident late January involving a Chinese tourist on the frozen lake. Investigators have completed their initial examination of the site as inquiries into the cause of the tragedy continue.
A new report from the Ocean Conservation Group Oceana reveals a significant decline in wild fish catches in the Philippines, with stocks dropping by over 500,000 metric tons since 2010. The audit indicates that 88% of the assessed fish stocks are now overfished, contributing to increased poverty and food insecurity in coastal regions. The Cavite city, the impact of fisheries decline is evident as boats return from overnight trips with minimal hauls of crabs, shrimp and fish. Local fishermen report that where baskets were once filled to capacity, they now struggle to secure enough to cover basic expenses. The financial strain on coastal workers has intensified as daily earnings have seen a sharp decrease. The average daily incomes have fallen from historical highs of 2,000 pesos to as low as 200 to 300 pesos.
Prima Kutumi, Fantamay.
Welcome back, and we are moving on to the world of sport. A little bit of disappointing news for Sri Lanka. England won the Super 8 match against Sri Lanka by 51 runs in the T20 World Cup cricket tournament today, and the match was played at the Pallakele International Cricket Stadium. Sri Lanka, winning the toss, decided to bat first, or field first rather. Accordingly, batting first, England scored 146 for 9 in 20 overs. Opener Phil Salt scored 62, while Will Jacks contributed with a knock of 21. In bowling, Dunit Velalage captured 3 wickets, and Dilshan Madhushanka and Mahesh Theekshana shared 2 wickets each. Chasing a victory target of 147, Sri Lanka were bundled out for a paltry 95 in 16.4 overs. Captain Dasun Shanaka top scored with 30, while Kamidu Mendes scored 13. And in bowling for England, Will Jack claimed 3 wickets. Accordingly, the next match of the Super 8 round for Sri Lanka will be played against New Zealand at the R. Premdas International Cricket Stadium on the 25th of this month.
The CRNFC team has been successful in winning the Inter-Club League Rugby Championship tournament yesterday. The team beat their rivals, the Kandy team, in a closely contested match at the CRNFC grounds in Lawton Place, Colombo. At the end of the first half, it was the Kandy team leading 14-7. However, in the latter half, the CRNFC team had come forward, adding 16 points, and the Kandy was able to secure the 7 points. The final score was 23-21 in favour of the CRNFC team. The points of the winning team came in the form of a goal, 2 tries and 2 penalties. Last year's champions, the Kandy team, was adjudged as runners-up at this tournament. Ministers of Sports Sunil Kumar Gamage has presided over the awards presentation. Best player in the final match was Tenuka Nanayakkara of the CRNFC team. Defence Secretary retired Air Marshal Sampath Tuyakonta and IGP Priyantha Veerasurya were among the spectators.
Let's give Candy Club a big
Spectacular rugby action there. On that note, we end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs together with Dilanjali. This is Clifford wishing you a good night.
Good night.